What's up everyone, Dan here, Crypto Capital Venture, January 5th, 2019. In this video, we're going to track Bitcoin, and we're going to pivot real quick towards the end to Litecoin. Litecoin showing some signs of momentum, and I think that speaks to possible potential move for Bitcoin, and I'll talk about that in a second. But let's jump right into the charts. So yesterday I did a video. I'm not going to talk about it too much in this video. Obviously, inverse head and shoulders in play, and we also, I want to put this out there, over the last few days have been tracking a potential lower low. I want to throw that out there, this potential lower low in the $2,500, $2,700 area. It's that golden number in the fib retracement, especially in terms of falling wedges. So it's that swing low on the daily chart to swing high, and it's that 1618 area, which extends all the way down here to around $2,400. So beings, we have this potential lower trend line in this falling wedge that you see here, and I know there's a lot going on the screen, but it's just these orange lines, this falling wedge, right? That is the lower trend line, pretty close and confluent with the 1618 area. So we have a target right down there around the $2,500 area in a downtrend, a continued downtrend for Bitcoin. You have to be aware of these things, especially if you want to accumulate in the long run. Be prepared with fiat because those prices would be incredible, in my opinion. And I'm on standby in case that happens for that very reason. Pivoting over to the 4-hour, what we do have happening kind of in real time really is, it's taken a little bit of time, right? We're going back towards the end of December to really fall into this current 4-hour pattern that we're in. You see it on the screen. It's a symmetrical triangle. And there's a lot going on within it, especially as we reach the apex. We're approaching the apex right in between the 200 EMA and the 400 EMA on the 4-hour chart. So what's the story in terms of how we got here? We obviously had that longer term swing low to swing high on the Fibonacci. And this was really the entry into this symmetrical triangle that you see on the screen. We got key support there right at that area, and we got a bounce right into the formation of this triangle. So that's kind of what has happened in Bitcoin. And really you see the consolidation, and we can use Fibonacci again to really get a nice clear picture of the consolidation from that swing low entry into the symmetrical triangle, that swing low to swing high, back down to the lower trend line. And you see right in this green channel, that is the Fibonacci retracement channel we use so often on this YouTube channel. It's a 618 to 786. We got a bounce there. And then to continue telling story from that swing low bounce to a swing low or to a swing high, right, to that upper trend line, we have another Fibonacci right here. Support, 618 bounce. And so you can see smaller and smaller bounces consolidating right into the apex of a symmetrical triangle. It's a classic formation of a symmetrical triangle. It's something to look out for right now, especially as we really approach the 75% to the apex. So we have confluent resistance right here, not far away for Bitcoin. Could happen at any moment that we test it. So look for a break to the upside, which definitely has some potential. We know what the downside looks like. We kind of just talked about it, right? In terms of continued downtrend below this recent low. So a lower low, and that would basically start within the symmetrical triangle with a break below it, right? So that's kind of what I'm looking at for Bitcoin. I want to see how this symmetrical triangle plays out. Moving over to Litecoin, I tweeted a little bit ago, Litecoin hasn't closed a candle above 50 EMA on the daily chart since May. Could be a very big indicator for market as a whole if that happens. Ethereum just did it, and Bitcoin is still around 10% away. I'm anticipating Bitcoin to follow, so buying a little BTC now. So I did just buy a little BTC. I did, not a ton, just a little bit, just in case we do get a break above. But you can see Bitcoin, 50 EMA on the daily chart, still not there yet. Litecoin, however, on the daily chart, we have just broken above it. Now, it's nice to see. However, I'm not convinced really of anything until we trade above it, until we get a full body candle close above the 50 EMA on Litecoin. Going to the 4-hour on Litecoin, how did we get here? Well, we've been tracking it, and it's really played out really nicely. We had this rising wedge. We got a break to the downside, right? And we basically hit our target almost exactly to the downside for a bounce. And then we fell into a new pattern, which is to say this falling wedge. We got to break out of this falling wedge to this upside, which was really the first part of the formation of this larger ascending triangle. So you see all these patterns flowing very nicely together into each other. And it's why we track patterns, because it gives us a great idea in terms of the movement of these cryptocurrencies. So right now, if this bull run continues for Litecoin that we have today, we're looking at a breakout potential to around $41. The question is this going to be one of those runs where Litecoin kind of gets that bullish momentum over the next couple of days? Obviously, if it happens, we'll take little breaks on the way up, right? It's so typical in these cryptocurrencies when they make these nice gains. So for context, that would look like a breakout of around 22% if we get there. And so playing into that, I do want to just, for reference to end the video, to help tell the story of Bitcoin, Litecoin has kind of been doing this, showing a little bit of strength ahead of Bitcoin. And what I mean by that is you can just go back to the 28th from this swing low to that touch at around $33. We had around a 22% gain. Now, if you look at Bitcoin in that same time frame, Bitcoin moved, right, the 28th bottom, but only 10%. So Litecoin, as it rises out of its bottom, has really kind of led the way in Bitcoin. And this is not the first time that it's happened as of recently. So it's something to take note of and keep an eye on, because altcoins have been doing that more recently, which is moving strongly ahead of Bitcoin. So those are my thoughts. I wanted to make this a nice, sweet technical analysis for you, January 5th, 2018. I hope you guys are all doing well and having an awesome weekend. If you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. I'd love to have you as part of the channel. Let me know your thoughts about the markets, how you're feeling. Are you accumulating? I will see you all in the next video. Have an awesome night, and God bless.